What's up guys, today we're going to talk about the best setting for this Osmo Action. Since the first time I use this one, I use auto mode for the settings. Then most of the time I will just click the record button. Then I don't normally set the settings of this Osmo Action. Use auto mode, this one auto mode, so that if I'm outside I will just hit the record button and just hit this, then record. But if you use the auto mode, most of the time your shutter speed will be low. So if the shutter speed is low, your movement will also be slow motion. That's why if you use auto mode, normally the shutter speed will go down so that the brightness will be up. The best settings for this is you just set the ISO to auto mode. This one, you just set to manual mode, then go to ISO, then set it to auto. That way your shutter speed will not go under 100. If your shutter speed go under 100, your video is kind of slow-mo and it's like your video will not be smooth. So that's why we will just set this to ISO auto. We will test this out, what the difference. Now use auto mode and let's go outside. We'll just hit the record button, then let's go outside. This is auto mode. This is set to auto mode. Now we will set to manual mode. This is manual mode. The shutter speed is 500. It's kind of overexposed. I will just bump up the shutter speed. Now I set to 800 shutter speed. 800 shutter speed. ISO is auto. It's kind of overexposed. This is manual mode. Manual, then the ISO is auto. So that's it, the manual and auto ISO. let you see my settings. This is my resolution is 2.7K, then 30 frames per second. I use 30 frames per second because I don't normally slow down this like in 60 frames per second. Then my SD card, I use 32 gigabytes micro SD card. That's why I use 30 frames per second. If I use 60 frames per second, the memory is not so big. That's why I only use 30 frames per second. I don't normally use this cam for B-roll. That's why is it okay to use 30 frames per second. A little slow motion, not so super slow motion. That's why 30. Rack steady on. Use rack steady on. Then D-Cine like, so that you can maximize the height, the dynamic range. If you adjust to dark to brightness, it will not be noisy, not so noisy. So that's what I use. Then my white balance is 5100. This 5100 is kind of warm light. I don't use auto white balance because if you're in a dark to bright area, the color will change, and it is not uniform anymore because it will change. Like it will go warm or green or any color. So that's why I use 5100 Kelvin, I think, the temperature. This is kind of warm. Then it is D-Cine like, it's like it gives more cinematic to your video. That's it. I already tested this out. When I first used this, my video was overexposed because I normally just hit the record button, and I don't normally check if it is overexposed or not. That's why most of the time when I first use this, it's a overexposed video, and it's very bad to look at. So that's it. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe. See you next time.